Kevin Downs joins us today. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Good to have you. So tell us about this film.
Well, Faith of Our Fathers was a journey for me. Took me 7 years to make it. Something very near and dear to my heart. You know, I've done a lot of movies over my career, and this one I wanted to accomplish two things with it. Number one was to honor the veterans, honor those that have served, so that we can have the freedom that we have today. It's really important and not to be forgotten, but also interweave that with the gospel. The gospel is presented in a lot of my films, but I don't think I've ever done it in such a way that it's so clearly presented in Faith of Our Fathers, and in such a way that really draws you in. So.
Yeah. So 7 years. Tell us why. 7 years.
Well, you know, no, I know. I mean, I was a writer, one of the writers on this. I produced it. Really, I was in charge of shepherding the whole film, and it was just something really near to my heart. And I continued to pray through it. That was the big thing. Was wanting to make sure that God's timing was perfect in the release of this film, and I wasn't just rushing it just so I could be done with it, but God had a specific purpose. And I think this year, with the 50th anniversary of us sending troops over for the first time, and as I've screened the film before its release for veterans, what I'm realizing is they so much love the fact that they're being honored in this film, and that was the purpose of it. So.
Why was that important? Why was it important to kind of frame this around the Vietnam War?
Well, the Vietnam War, two things. Number one is, you know, often the Vietnam War, the veterans that come back from that are sort of like it's the forgotten war, you know, and so they often are just not remembered. And also for our timeline, David White and I, when we first stumbled upon this story, it was an original script from Cary Scott, who directed the film. And both of us were like, okay, we want to do this. And so both of us kind of came in and helped Cary and rewrote it a bit. And it helped that Vietnam, so his story was actually, Vietnam was the war that he chose. But, you know, if we had went further back, I'm not sure how much, although we could have pushed the time frames back. But David and I wanted to play the two sons in the film, and so it just worked out that it was Vietnam. And for me, it's special because I got two uncles that served in the Vietnam War. And so that picture that you saw in the trailer of the two sons, actually I have, my brother and I have a picture of our two uncles that is the exact same photo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you're picking films, because, you know, many people at home are going to say, that's a familiar face. I've seen you in, you know, countless Christian films. Why, how do you find these films, and how do you pick these films as an actor as well as a producer?
You know, I go through and I just pray. I mean, after Courageous, which was obviously such a wonderful experience to be a part of that, and the themes of fatherhood, literally I was on my knees and praying, God, what is next? And in my heart, I wanted to do a love letter for my wife, hence Mom's Night Out, which was the next film that I did. And in the genre of comedy, and just really doing something for her that makes her laugh. Because I thought, well, if I could make my wife laugh, then other women across the country and maybe around the world will also laugh. So that was a fun movie to do. Faith of Our Fathers, I've been working on for 7 years, and over the course of several movies, in fact, during Courageous, Alex Kendrick and I, while we're sitting in the cop cars kind of waiting for the next lighting setup, we'd be talking about Faith of Our Fathers because he helped me craft the story. He was the editor on the film, one of the two editors on the film, and we would talk about the purpose of the film and crafting the story and moving the story along and different ideas. And so, but every year for the past 7 years, I've shot something on the film.
But I guess that's my question. I mean, you're an actor. You know, you said that you live in California. You could be in secular movies. So why specifically choose to be in Christian film?
Because there's nothing that is so wonderful than when you bring your film out and you see the ministry that these films actually have on people. And so it's awesome. I mean, to be able to see, you know, I was in Ecuador with Courageous and did a resolution ceremony for 5,000 police officers. And for 3 hours, I stood out in the middle of a soccer field with men and women coming up to me with tears running down their cheeks with a translator and them telling me how much their lives have changed because of Courageous. I don't think I would get that in a secular film.
That gave me goosebumps. Well, Candace Cameron Bure plays your fiance in the film, and we have a clip from Candace Cameron Bure talking about why she's chosen Christian films to act in as well. Let's take a look.
Well, it's really important to me when I find a script or want to read for something, or I'm offered something that it has moral content to it, and it's nothing that would go against a lot of my personal beliefs. It has to some way affect the viewer so that they know there's something more out there than just what we are right here. That God made this world and we're here to serve him. I want to be able to go with my children and see these kind of films that are relative to me and my family and what we're going through as Christians. The central message of this film is relationship, especially with parents and their children, and ultimately God being the ultimate parent. Even as a parent myself, and focusing so much time and energy into my children, I hope that they know how much I love them and desire for them, and but even more than that, want them to know how much God, their Father, loves them and will provide everything and make up for every area that I will fail.
That's a great message. Is that the message you want people to see and hear?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Candace. She's just got a sweetheart, and she's exactly as she is in that interview. And she was a lot of fun to play with on screen. Kind of the little things that we have going on in the film is really wonderful, and I would love to work with her again.
Yeah. I mean, you have a all-star cast. You have Stephen Baldwin, Candace Cameron, as we saw, Rebecca St. James, Cy Robertson, which is, a little comedy relief there as well.
Cy Robertson is great. I mean, he is literally, he's incredible. I went into that scene, you saw us in the trailer, and I was like, I wonder what's going to happen here. And he's
See,
so
you
hysterical.
didn't even know what was going to happen.
I had no idea what was going to happen, but he's so good. I mean, he's so good. He beyond, exceeded my expectations for whatever that was. And he's so wonderful in the film. And what's great about Cy is that he has the heart for this because he's a Vietnam veteran himself, and he loves this story so much that he wants so much for troops to see this because he believes that it honors them in a way that they'll be really proud of.
Yeah. So July 1st is the opening day for this film. Why should people go to the theaters, and why should people see this film?
At July 1st, we have some movie options that are out there. I don't think there's one quite like Faith of Our Fathers. It's a film you can take your whole family to. Even though it's rated PG-13, but I'll tell you right now, the PG-13 is because of that little war clip that you saw in there. Okay. And we didn't want to fight it. We're like, you know what, it doesn't matter because this film is for the whole family. And you can also, if you know somebody that has been touched by the war or has served in the war, bring them to it. Bring them to it and bring a box of Kleenex.
What is it like seeing 7 years of toiling over this film finally? It's going to be in theaters. People are going to be able to watch your baby. I'm humbled and I'm blessed, and God, whenever you question what God is doing in your life, I look back at Faith of Our Fathers and I go, you know what, God, you had a perfect plan and you had a perfect design, and if I'm patient and allow you to come in and just do what you do so wonderfully, and me, I just need to get out of the way. Yeah. And so I think people will love the film, and it's a great 4th of July film. You have 5 days. We open on Wednesday nights, so you got 5 days over the weekend to go out and see it. And people, if they need more information on the movie, they can go
at faithofourfathersmovie.com. All the theaters that we're opening in are on the website, and if you have Facebook, go to Faith of Our Fathers, like it, because you'll get all sorts of updates and some nice little quotes and comments from the cast and all that.
That's great. And you can also go to our website, 100huntley.com, for further information. Thanks again, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, it was great meeting you.